Welcome everyone. Thank you for staying back for presentation. So my name is Wangji. I will be accompanied by Young later. We'll be covering on the service level. This is the actual TR. So for those who haven't seen it, I'm supposed to do some marketing for IPSC. So feel free to visit the Spring website. I'm not sure for how much to pay and download the electronic copy, or you can actually purchase some hard copy. So this is how it looks like, TR31, technical reference. So as the title indicates, this is a technical reference. It is not a certification standard. For those who are in the cloud industry, I think you have heard about the new tender that's coming up, the new standard that's coming up, which is pushed by our National Grid Office. This will cover the cloud security certification standards. So it will be our first national standard for cloud security. So without further ado, let me introduce this technical reference. Good. Okay. So here's a presentation. The objective of this TR, okay, just to take note, is to provide security and service level guidelines. So it is a guidance document, it's not a certification document, to primarily the users of public cloud computing services. But naturally, cloud providers, feel free to make reference to this technical reference, because this guidelines could potentially be the questions that your users will ask going forward. So the two types of cloud that we are focusing on: software as a service and infrastructure as a service. We excluded platform as a service for two main reasons. First, we are severely lack of manpower, so I do welcome volunteers on the floor to join the standards committee. We are under the Security and Privacy Standards Technical Committee, SPSTC, which is a part of the IT Standards Committee. And another second reason why we excluded PaaS is the adoption rate of PaaS here in Singapore is not as high as SaaS or IaaS. So given the limited time and manpower, we decided to focus on the top two cloud models. As mentioned, key audience is end users, but naturally we do welcome service providers to take a look at the reference documents. If you are deploying private or hybrid cloud, the guidelines may not be so applicable to you, though there are certain elements that you can look at and adapt it internally for your internal cloud, but that's not our key focus. Okay, I mentioned in exclude PaaS, and of course any business-specific operations of using cloud computing. Okay, that's there might be a business off just to make sure you can find the cloud, but that's not covered in this type of reference. There are some references that we make mention of. ISO 20000, which is the service level. SLE 27000 is security standards. This is a document from NIST, which is from US, National Institute of Standards and Technology. And lastly, we also make reference to SS 507. For those who run data centers, you will have heard of this standard, which covers the TCP portion of the TR. So key characteristics of this TR, as mentioned, it covers SaaS and IaaS service model. The key audience of this document is the user. It provides the user what to look for when they evaluate cloud service provider in terms of security and service level questions. Helps CSD to evaluate gaps in the existing security management and service level management. The whole document is actually presented in the risk-based approach. Later, in subsequent slides, I'm going to walk through the brief manner, the structure of this TR. So the risks are identified, followed by specific areas of concern and the relevant mitigating controls. If you are expecting to hear about mitigating controls in today's presentation, unfortunately I can't talk about that. If you'd like to know, you have to purchase the TR. So we were under explicit gap order not to talk about the meaty part of this technical reference. Okay. Controls are suggested, not mandated. This is a technical reference, it is not a certification standard. Okay. just a single of this, but of course, nothing is precluding what we have, what is included in the NDR to be part of, to be part of the new certification standard that National Grid Office is on. So again, similar to most ISO certification, there's always this concept of statement of applicability. So not all controls are applicable to your environment or your needs. So you have to exercise your take it with a pinch of salt and exercise your due diligence when reviewing the technical reference. Okay. We do try our best to provide a long list of controls for the sake of completeness, but as mentioned earlier, not all controls are applicable to you. So let me start with the sections, the technical reference. Section 3, we are talking about definitions used within the TR. Abbreviations, so all the short names, we do list it out and explain what it means. Section 5, that is where the fundamentals of cloud computing is being explained, especially for business users who are looking at public cloud computing for the very first time. This is a very good section. Okay, it's a very excellent introductory section. So we talk about the 5 essential characteristics of what constitutes cloud. Okay. Virtualization is not cloud. Right? So you have things like on-demand self-service, broad network access, source coding, rapid elasticity, managed service. For deployment models, we talk about public, private, hybrid, and community cloud. And we talk about the 3 service model, IaaS, SaaS, and PaaS. Though the technical reference doesn't include controls for PaaS, but we do explain what does PaaS mean. Okay, backbone as a service. Then next we also have the taxonomy, the diagram, in section 5, that illustrate the difference in scope and controls between the 3 models. So again, let me, don't mind doing a bit of later marketing, feel free to encourage you to get a copy of the TR, so you make reference to the diagrams and the taxonomy. Section 6, we talk about the service level agreements. On this part, I'll leave it to Shinyoung to cover later. Section 8. Section 8 and Section 9. Because Section 8, we are talking about the risk controls and mitigation measures for SaaS. Section 9, we're going to talk about for IaaS. So let me first dive into Section 8, what we have included in the TR. First, we start off with legal risk. Okay, what are the legal implications of you moving to the cloud? So what you should consider, does the cloud provider comply with data privacy regulations? I think earlier, during the Amazon presentation, one of the member of the audience was asking, if the US government issued order under the Data Act to get hold of your customer's data, how do you handle that? Is that allowed by our Singapore Data Protection Act, which will be released in the quarter this year, right? But our Data Protection Act, by the way, allows up to $1 million fine to relate the customer data. So applicable legal jurisdiction, contracts. Okay, when you look at contracts, are they stated that it will be exercised and enforced here in the Republic of Singapore, or enforced and exercised in a different jurisdiction? Take note of that. Data handling controls. Okay, how does the cloud provider handle the data? Any contractual remedies? Is it included in the contract? Let's say if the cloud provider doesn't meet certain requirements, what are the penalties that's available to you as a user? Are they included in the contract? Personal risk. Does the cloud provider perform pre-employment checks? Do they check who they employ to go into a data center or go into your virtual machines and administer the environment for you? Do they perform regular security education for the staff? Keep them abreast of the latest attacks and hackers' techniques. Continuous evaluation of personal security. Do they do audit of the knowledge or the awareness similar to what we have been talking about recently with the train, right? Do they train the personnel to be able to react to incidents, so on and so forth? Okay, I think that the lack of training was highlighted during the community inquiry. Third risk on unclear service level, again I'll defer to my esteemed colleague Yong later. Okay, fourth risk that we talk about is change management risk. Within here, we have these following areas. Firstly, does the provider have a change management policy? Was there proper documentation? Was there any, or is there any test environment? And is it segregated? Is the configuration secure and benchmarked to industry standards? Are there backup? Are there audit logs? Do they perform patch management? Next, risk number 5. We talk about software assurance risk. Very pertinent when you're talking about software as a service, right? That is software that's providing you a service. If the software is not secure, and you're building castles of sand. Is the application benchmarked against software security standards? OWASP SOC 10, SAN SOC 25? Okay. Does the software access standard provide version control? How do you control access to the source codes? Do hackers have a chance of injecting backdoors into the source codes? Do the access providers, do they implement protection capabilities that run on the client side? Like content security policies, so on and so forth, DNSSEC. Do they review the software for vulnerabilities? Both in terms of black box testing and black box testing. How do they handle the patch application? When there's a new application or new vulnerability being discovered, how do they patch it? The whole patching cycle, the change management. Risk number 6. Well, this is again one of the major risks that's stopping users of going to cloud. Data leakage. Right? We are worried that when we go to cloud, all data get lost on the cloud, or leak out on the cloud. So here these are the areas of concern that we highlight. Data classification. Do you, as a user, classify your data first before you decide to go to cloud? Because if you do not classify your data, the cloud provider can't classify for you. Because you know best what data is important, what data is sensitive. So many of us we ask challenging questions to the cloud provider, but sometimes we do need to ask ourselves, do we classify the data first? So in the technical reference, we highlight this. As a user, you should do that first. So with the classification, you can then decide the controls that are relevant, protect the data, through the use of encryption, through the use of data leakage, there's outbound monitoring, backup to make sure the data doesn't get lost forever if a disaster strikes, data removal. Okay, there's this concept of data reminiscence, that when you delete the VM, the snapshots or the backup copies may still have a copy of your data. Does the cloud provider delete all the associated snapshots and backups of your VMs? Especially if the data is spread across different geographical regions, different data traffic. So you have a copy here in Singapore, a copy here in Europe, and a copy in the US. So how do you make sure that when you delete data, the data in all locations are deleted? Okay. Ask the provider about all these questions. Data portability, very important for the ability to migrate between different cloud providers. You do not want to get locked out. Okay. So these are proposed area of concern. Obviously, that each of these concerns have its own associated controls that you can look into to potentially ask the provider. The whole spirit of the technical reference is structured in a way that the SaaS provider shall provide information related to so and so and so. Okay? We don't describe what the solutions that the cloud provider should use. But what we are recommending is, as a user, you should ask the cloud provider these of questions, and hopefully the cloud provider can give you some intelligent answers. Okay. In the technical reference, we do include some examples of good answers, or good techniques that we use. Number 7, risk elasticity of SaaS. Again, one of the major reasons why we go to SaaS is that it's elastic. You can scale up, scale down, depending on business needs. So if your cloud provider cannot fulfill that, that's a concern. Service elasticity, focusing on applications, architectural capabilities. Is the software designed to scale up easily in times of high peaks, high loads? Is the network? Okay. Here we don't talk about storage because of SaaS provider, they are not providing the storage per se. Okay, but in IAS section 9, we do talk about storage elasticity. Risk number 8, unauthorized access. Does the cloud provider implement proper identity management? The president of Cloud Security Alliance, Jim Ravis, was here in Cloud Engineering yesterday. And he said the number one obstacle he felt that is facing cloud provider is the ability to handle identities. Right? Does the cloud provider identity management system integrate with your AD? Integrate with all the ADs, active directories of all the different customers? Or are you asking customers to manage different username, different password just for the use of cloud? Which means the customers, the users, will remember the seven credentials. Proper authentication being performed. Proper authorization access controls. I believe some of you are SQ customers, right? Israel customers. In February this year, I think there was probably a few times that this fire might follow. Something happened to it. So customers A logged in and see customers B failed. Would it happen to a cloud provider, a SaaS provider? If not, why not? How does a SaaS provider assure you and I that the second itself doesn't get this worse? Next, we talk about the business continuity risk of a SaaS provider. Last thing you want is for the SaaS provider to face a disaster and all the data is lost and they cannot recover the data. That is a really impact on business. So this is a critical area too. Does the SaaS provider conduct BCP planning? And do they review the plans regularly to test out the BCP action plans? Next, inability to detect and respond to security incidents. If you read Verizon report, the data breach report of Verizon Business, you can see that they do mention most of the breaches are detected 6 months after it occurred. Would it apply to the cloud provider that when their environment gets compromised, the software gets compromised, they only know in 6 months later, which means all the data could have been siphoned out. Right? Suddenly without you know. So how do they detect an incident and how do they respond to it? Do they notify you? Is there a structured notification process, escalation process? Okay, this is something pretty unique to our standard. So, inaccurate billings. We have actually reviewed guidelines and standards for NIST in the US, and NISA from Europe, and even CSA from Canada. This is something that we have decided as a team to put at it. The reason why is this. One of the key reasons for us on the cloud is the cost savings. Right? If ever I move to cloud, my cost increase because of inaccurate accounting on part of the cloud provider. That undermines the entire purpose of us on the cloud. Because I don't save money. The business user don't get to save money. So the ability to properly and accurately account for the usage is something that's critical. Lest you don't mind being slapped with a $1 million bill for cloud usage. So area of concerns we look for: integrity and accuracy of usage log. Again, integrity and reliability of the meters. Are the current rates being used though? Especially for cloud providers that have tiered pricing. That means once you exceed a certain usage level, a different price applies. Is that properly accounted for? Did the provider use the correct rate as advertised to bill you? Do they even provide itemized billing? Right, for those who are using itemized billing for the whole way, you understand what I mean, right? How about the confidentiality of the usage level? Right? Does the staff or the engineers within the cloud provider able to know how much they use and whatnot? Or is it restricted to a certain department or team within the CSP, cloud service provider? Third-party risk. Okay. Bear in mind, SaaS could outsource the infrastructure to another IaaS player, another IaaS cloud service provider, or they could outsource the managing of the help desk, the call center to a third party. So here, we want the user to ask the question to the SaaS provider, what are the third parties that you outsource to, and we've done a review of the risk. Take, for example, if your infrastructure provider gives you a 4.9 or 3.9 assurance, how can a SaaS provider who runs on the infra provide you a 4.9 assurance? How is that possible if your infra is only giving you 3.9 instead of 4.9? And so forth. Maintenance, that's covered by human being. I will cover that. So similarly for reporting, this is part and parcel of your governance. Section 9, we're touching on infrastructure as a service. They are very similar to Section 8 in terms of structures. But what I've done is I've highlighted the differences in the area of concerns between Section 9 and Section 8. Okay, so for those who are looking at this, engaging an infrastructure as a service provider, you can jump straight to Section 9 without looking at Section 8. For those who are just looking at SaaS provider, you can see Section 9 here. So 9 is targeted towards infrastructure as a service. So these are key differences. Here we're talking about change management risk, again 4.4. Segregation user VMs. Is my virtual machine segregated and protected from another IaaS customer's virtual machines? Do I receive the broadcast network messages from other people's virtual machines? Is it being segregated? Backup or snapshots before changes. So here we're adding the capability of the snapshots, which is a super feature in most virtual machines. And as you know, most true blue infrastructure cloud service provider, they have what we call the customer portal, where the customer can log in to provision or deprovision virtual machines, right? So it's a portal that the IaaS provider providing to you. This is secure against application level attacks. Can someone do an SQL injection to the provisioning point? The infrastructure will be secure, but the application where you and I log into provision VM is not secure. Under data leakage and loss, one of the key areas that we added in infrastructure classification. So IaaS provider, I think you guys know that recently government issued the G-Cloud tender. So I think as part of the requirement tender, you're supposed to, the cloud providers is a different classification of the cloud infrastructure for different purposes. So similarly for IaaS provider, we provide classification of infrastructure. So you can pick one that matches your security, your preferred security assurance level. The difference is under data encryption and data leakage. Elasticity, as mentioned earlier, storage elasticity is something your SaaS provider, IaaS provider should also highlight. Earlier, I think we started talking about the IOPS, the storage throughput, so on and so forth. Can your IaaS provider match the potential explosion in data, in requests, in loads, through the storage? Annex A and B is also pretty interesting. We actually summarized the PR into easy to reference checklists. So this is, I know you can't see it, but you can see this is basically in table form. Okay. This provides easy to refer to checklist for users. So if you want to skip the entire TR because you don't have to read, you can jump straight to the annex where we highlight the specific controls. Again, the controls are categorized according to the risk. So Annex A we cover the checklist for SaaS, Annex B we cover the checklist for IaaS. So we have the following columns: risk indication, and clause. So you can always refer back to the main body of the TR to know what this control refers to. Okay. Just to summarize for this portion, the security controls before I hand the floor to Yong on the governance portion. It's meant to guide you to select the right CSP to suit your security and SLA needs. And hopefully we do encourage CSP to take a look at this opportunity. And this is good work from the committee. The volunteers actually, we walk through all the different standards and guidelines. Again, it's a joint work between SPSTC and IT governance technical TC. So the security controls are written by two checks. Okay, so I would strongly welcome you to join us. You don't get paid, unfortunately. You don't get paid to buy the copy of the TR, but we don't get paid to write it. So, okay. And of course, the IT governance group is chaired by Nina, which is absent of apologies today. So, Chino will be presenting on behalf of ITGPC. So, I hand the floor to Chino.
Okay, hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Shin Yong from IT Governance Technical Committee. So, actually this technical reference is developed by two teams. Okay, the sound object is from the Security and Privacy TC from ITGPC. So, maybe I just briefly introduce the people behind this TC that involved in this development. Leinan is from NUS, ISS. So he's the chairman of this TC, followed by Alvin, the CIO from Teppan Hospital, and he's the deputy chair for this TC, and Gary Hill, director of CITS, Sim University, and Michael Tan. Okay, Michael Tan is participating on a personal basis. That means he's not representing his organization. The rest of us are more or less representing our organization. Then Abdullah is audit director from VGO, and myself. I'm from AD in IDA Government Infocom Governance Division. Okay, so like what she said, we welcome. If anyone want to join this TC, you can later approach me. Okay. I'll cover the SLA. SLA is a very small. Okay, SLA is a very small portion in this technical reference. This technical reference we call it service guideline. Again, it's a set of guidelines for reference. I think typically for public cloud computing, public users, there are typically two types of SLA. One is the off-the-shelf non-negotiable agreements, where most of the public cloud computing are offering this. For example, you sign up with Gmail today. I think you cannot. I mean, as a public users, actually it's a non-negotiable kind of agreements. The second type is negotiated agreements between CSP and cloud service provider and the software as a service information. So infra as a service users. Okay, I will just the next chapter I just briefly go through these two types. Okay, we adopt a risk-based approach. So from the first type, there's this risk called unclear service. So as users of public computing, public cloud computing, this is one risk element that we identified. And both SAS and IAS have these two sections addressing this. Okay, mainly the area of concern is on service availability and performance. Okay, service availability in a basic form is like how often the service is available to you. For example, are there any scheduled downtime per day, per week, or per month that you cannot use? So this is a basic form of service availability. And performance in terms of probably response time to use the service, performance level. Okay, I will not go into too detail because that is what you need to buy for this technical reference. So roughly the conceptual design is that even for normal public cloud computing users, you should minimally if let's say you want to use it really for your business or for your organizations, you must really what are the service levels that are provided from us, availability perspective, right? How often is scheduled on our time, things like that. And in terms of what kind of response time can we expect it. Okay, so these are typically all the first part is typically all the shortcut, non-negotiable agreements. The next one is category is more for the important or critical applications that you want to use software as a service. You will need to consider a few parameters in terms of your application capabilities, and next most important factor is the data of the software that you are going to use, that you are going to eventually transact and then stay with the CSP, the data. So this criticality of software application data plus the offline processing, batch processing, will determine whether you need to go into negotiated agreement, so-called SLA. And also, when you go to the SLA, be mindful about what kind of tiers of service you really need. Because different tiers of service carries with a different price and performance. Okay, so these are some of the considerations. And in addition to the software service performance, also you take note of the customer service support team. How they deliver their customer service support. Is it via phone, offline, is via computer, offline type, or more personal? Okay, so and the technical support in terms of when can you call them for the awareness problem. So all these are some of the considerations for relate to this risk about service level. Okay? And important is we know that for those off-the-shelf non-negotiable agreements, a lot of times the changes are not important. Changes to the DNC, to the service level, are not important. So just be mindful about. Also try to understand the process. How do you find out the changes? Okay, the next thing is about after you have this, you know about the minimum service level that you're expecting when you go in, or you need to sign an agreement. The next thing is about managing the service failure. Okay. When they fail in delivering to the agreed performance level, then how do you so-called recover the damage to your business? So we have come up a table as a reference for everyone to consider what kind of severity is classified medium kind of severity and high impact severity for even low impact. The table I don't go into details, but it takes into approach about the scale of the users affected. Consider the end user that are affected. So it's from the customer point of view, the user point of view. That's and if that threshold is violated, you can consider some damages by LD. The next part is also in terms of service level, limitation of software does play a big part. For example, if the software can only process certain length of byte, in terms of batch or in terms of uploading files, certain format that can accept, all this, it may not affect your business now, but over time, when you need to, your business want to expand and have some more additional features, it will affect. So you need to also find out what's the limitation of the software, and also the system performance, because you should try to find out the worst case performance if you processing a particular file of this standard format. So you know roughly is this acceptable to your end users. Next, I will cover maintenance. Okay. There are two concerns. One is preventive maintenance, that means scheduled maintenance. Again, scheduled maintenance will affect your service availability to your end users. So when you go in, you have to be very clear what is the regular maintenance. And if there are changes, how these changes will be updated to you. Okay. And for those sporadic or more urgent or unscheduled maintenance, then there need to be some kind of established understanding with the service provider in terms of when such thing happens, how can you get information from them? For example, what are the services that are affected during that urgent maintenance, and what are the services that are not affected? So some things you have to lay down clearly what you need to know, and also how can during this period, what is the point of contact? Who can you get more information with? Because for long downtime may need even more handshaking between the CSP and itself. So the technical support, and also lastly, when after the scheduled downtime on the corrective urgent maintenance is over, actually there need to be some follow-up action plans. Especially you sign an agreement, you may need to know how they need to commit, alright? They need to assure you that they will put in some measures to prevent this from happening. So this is where we come from risk-based maintenance. Last one, reporting. Okay, reporting. The reporting here is about from the reports that they provide, you more or less know is this adequate for you to assess their ability and performance from time to time. So indirectly, you also boils down to internally within the CSP, do they have a formal process to collect the information and report to you on a regular basis? So for this release, actually, beside a set of standard reports related to ability and performance, with the TTL also suggest additional reports for the public computing users to consider. Okay, I will not go into details of this report. So basically, this is coming from report. And here is what you need to put in a little bit more attention, because you need this report to provide an update whoever that you are accountable to in terms of provisioning this service from the public cloud companies. Okay, so I come to the end of my presentation. It's a very short topic for the service level guidelines. So I will open for if you have any questions to ask or comment.
With regards to the price, there's a special discount here, right? $7.48. $48.54. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the different price list. The account notice.
Before the discount was $60.67. So after discount, 48.
So it's very good competitive.
For stock market.
For stock market. Factory is not included.